That's
Welcome to Dice Dorks and Danger! Where we dorks play with our dice, and sometimes, probably especially this time, we get into some danger. I am your probably gonna be malevolent DM this game session. We'll find out. 16-bit Scotty. With me are the players that will be playing tonight to bring together some characters and a little bit of danger and chaos to this wonderful galaxy. We'll start off with character player introductions from Chrono. Introduce yourself and your character, please.
Hello, I'm Chrono. I am playing Richard, the normal captain of the DP-28, impersonating a janitor.
By the name of, what was the name that you went with? It wasn't Bob.
Brad.
Brad, that's it. I knew it started with a B. I just couldn't remember what it was. All right, so then we are going to drop down to Zobros. Introduce Zo for me, dead man.
I am Dead Man Bones, and I am playing Zobros, the usual gun person, but right now she is a janitor.
Fantastic. Crom, my good man.
Like,
I am Crom. I am currently acting as the second hand of the DP-28, and I am currently sitting on the ship because the Imperials don't like things that aren't human.
For the most part, yeah. Speaking of non-human, Arena Flare, introduce yourself and Kanza.
I am Arena Flare. I am playing Kanza, the TLZ of the group, and I'm going in as a droid.
Yes, droid. Beep, boop,
Janitors are
whoop, whoop,
overrated.
whoop. That's right. Droids. Droid power. All right. So, of course, obviously, I will be rounding out pretty much the entirety of everything. We will kind of hit a very micro recap if you want to see not last week's game session, but 2 weeks ago, due to some technical difficulties and as well as some life things that came up. Um, it is on the YouTube. I don't think it's on the VOD here. It might be. I don't know. Anyways, so yeah, basically the Dice Dorks had spoken with Mojo the Hutt. Mojo the Hutt said, "Hey, Empire is encroaching on my territory. They're trying to take my I think they're trying to take my spice record from me. Yeah, don't want that. I need some information to find out what's actually going on. You get that for me." They're like, "Okay." So then everybody concocted a plan to head to the moon base to get the information. And that's literally just the micro recap. All the bullet points that you need to know. We will cover the rest right now. Okay. So, since we had technical difficulties, I didn't get to kind of wrap up and do what I wanted to last game session. So we'll kind of start now that was supposed to be the quote unquote ending then. So as the crew of the DP-28 is exiting the ship, in my mind, what I see to kind of sell this is that you have Richard, Zoe, and then Adamox. They're basically, in their gear to pose as janitors. And then you've got Kanza, who's basically got this outfit on to make her look like a sort of protocol-esque type droid, where the remaining of the crew will be basically unloading the cargo. Yumi is dressed as an Imperial junior lieutenant, and the name's supposed to be Erica Myers. So as the crew's doing all their stuff, there'll be kind of a moment where the technicians are kind of getting their stuff together and making sure that they have everything. The droids are kind of getting out of the hold and all that other kind of fun stuff. And one of the ladies will kind of lean over and she'll say, "So you sure DC's got this information right?" And this guy will kind of be putting both together and things that kind of patting around, check himself. He says, "DC's yet to fail me. It'll be okay." And then a third person will say, well, we're here now. So whatever happens, whatever can happen. Yep, he should be there. He said he'd meet us. Just trust him. DC's pretty good at this kind of stuff. All right, Dash, if you say so. And they will turn around and start walking towards, get on the lift as everybody else gets on the lift. And basically everything comes down and begins the process of unloading the cargo. And those that are going into the facility will now go into the facility. So,
question: what's Empire elevator music like? Soul crushing?
no, it's literally just the Imperial March over and over and over and over and over. That's it.
And just occasionally you'll hear Darth Vader's breathing.
Right? Obey. All right.
I'm just gonna say I don't like the information that I just heard.
None of it?
At the moment you said dash,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna leave you guys on that little cliffhanger last week, and then the internet slash Twitch decided to make its own cliffhanger. So
And go Caputo.
yeah, pretty much. So yeah, you guys are going to be walking out with the technicians and everything else as everybody kind of starts making their way to the front door there. And then we will jump over to the map shot. Alrighty then. So let me kind of increase size for those that have hard times of seeing, like me and my old eyes. Okay, it's a little bit better maybe. No. We'll really get up in there. All right. That's what she said.
oh, got him.
Ho
Ho ho ho
ho
ho.
ho ho! Got him. All right. So yep, you guys are for the most part where your tokens are. Actually, we'll kind of probably migrate everybody to the ramp. Hold on.
Yeah, Richard, you're still in the ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, what we'll do is we'll put Adamox here. Zo right there. Put you right here. We'll put Jada and Crom towards the back. So, all right. So Jada, Crom, and Zagar are going to basically be unloading the cargo. And in my mind, what I see is the technicians are going to be walking in first, followed by the droids, followed by Yumi and the logistics droid, and then followed by your janitors, and then the cargo final. So what's going to happen is, as the doors open, we'll put Adamox in there for map stuff that hopefully everybody can see on the stream, is all I care about. Aha. There are going to be two stormtroopers that are basically going to have their backs to where the doors were, facing a Imperial officer who's going to be behind a desk with a computer. The officer is going to look over at the technicians and he will say, please present your ID cards. Technicians walk up and they pull out these little ID card things, hand them over. The guy takes them, puts them, scans them, like hands them back after they boop, 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 clears off. Thank you. Trooper, oh crap, what do they go by? I can't remember. TC, I think what it is, isn't it? Trooper 564. Please escort the technicians to their designated assigned area. And one of the troopers will kind of nod his head, and then he'll walk up to him and he'll say, all right, guys, this way. As he begins to kind of walk and do what he needs to do. So they all head over as you're facing the map. They all will head to the right hand and start heading that way out of a door that the trooper basically kind of has a code cylinder for, that basically kind of puts in, opens, unlocks the door, and they get going. So next in line is obviously the droids. The droids, they just kind of do a check-in phase and everything else, and then he basically says, head to maintenance. You will be given orders where to go from there. They will head to the left side of the door, which the door will be unlocked from the officer behind the desk, and then they will kind of mosey on. So then comes pretty much the entirety of the DP-28. As Erica Myers will walk up and hand a code cylinder and will say, how would she say this? These leaves are never short enough, are they? And the officer just kind of looks at her, raises an eyebrow. He goes, no. He says, no, I don't think they ever are. And then he takes the code cylinder, puts it in like a little computer thing, and information will pop up. He'll say, he'll pull the thing out after looking at her, looking over the information, hand her the code cylinder, and say, welcome back, Junior Lieutenant. Let's see. Welcome back, Junior Lieutenant. We will, we're glad to have you returning. And then Yumi, as the Junior Lieutenant, will just kind of smile and just say, well, of course, where else would I be? And then she'll even add in like a little bit of a, what do they normally say? It's something kind of like,
Glory to the Empire.
yeah, it wasn't Glory to the Empire I was thinking of. It was something else, but they basically kind of, she does that and he'll wave a hand out and salute the same way. She will actually head over to the left-hand side. And the officer will say, why are you heading that way? Yumi will stop, and then she will kind of look at him, and she'll say that, I kind of need to go check something out in the docking area. So rather than walking all the way around, she says, I kind of figured I'd just head this way. And he's like, oh, okay, yeah, perfectly fine, perfectly fine. Then comes up the rest of the crew as Yumi has not entered the door yet and is kind of deliberately lingering, keeping this guy conversation-wise. So here come the janitors and the extra droid. What do the janitors and droid want to do? As this guy will look at you and say, essentially, papers, please. Now,
So we have our papers, correct?
I'll say now, to alleviate some of the stress that I know some of you are feeling, though it was not covered, you do have your papers.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to present the papers.
Yep. So yeah, you turn around, you do. It's basically a code cylinder kind of thing, which is just as it sounds like. It's a cylinder that contains a bunch of codes. So it basically takes it, plugs it in, the computer goes up. You will see that there is a holo projector that pops up the information that gives you a false name, false title, has your picture, and everything else. And then everything seems to check out. He pops the cold cylinder, hands it back to you, and he says, welcome on board.
All right.
This will continue to go through, and you guys will essentially get through the checkpoint. Would you guys, after doing this, after being checked in, would you like to go left or right?
What do we see again?
Can you guys not move your tokens?
We can.
Okay.
I can.
Okay.
Oh.
So this is why I have tokens set up.
There's a wall.
What? bullcrap. Oh, wait, no. Yeah, you right. You right.
Apologies, I just had a phone call.
You're fine. Okay, now you should be able to go.
Hey.
Hey.
Are they going to indicate a direction we should go?
No, the guy just basically says, welcome. And he gives you no indication. As if you were supposed to know.
That doesn't seem quite fair. He gave everybody else the direction.
We're the help.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
Speaking of which, do we have cleaning supplies on us?
No, it's just an outfit. Although, I did kind of forget last stream, and I did forget I was going to start this at the beginning. Do you guys want to try to smuggle in a weapon? You cannot smuggle in anything larger than a blaster pistol or a heavy blaster.
Nope.
Excuse me. All right. So no for Richard. Does anybody else want to try to smuggle in a weapon?
I'm trying to think, would I be able to honestly get away with it?
Well, that would
Hansa
be
already has a
something.
weapon in her prison pocket.
Yep. That's all right. Now, you guys, those of you that are not prison pocketing in it with the junk in the trunk, you would have to make a hide check. Oh man.
Would I have?
What?
Would the quick six actually fit inside of the suit?
I'm going to say yes. Is it a blaster pistol?
It's a sporting blaster.
No. Sporting blaster is
Then
way larger, so it'd have to be the bipolar then.
So, question.
no,
Right.
I'm leaving that on the ship.
So no weapons or
I mean, you have muscle. You don't have weapons.
this is true. Ideally, you ain't gonna need those weapons.
Ideally.
Ideally, but I still feel like this is a no. No matter what weapons I do have.
I got you. Okay.
So would I have been able to see any of the information on the screen as he checked me in?
I tell you what, you give me a perception search.
Can I get in on that?
Sure.
And while they're doing that, would he looked at Kanza in this droid suit and given her direction?
He will just say head to maintenance.
9.
Okay.
I believe food is here. I'll be right back.
Okay.
$14.
Okay. So both are good enough to know that when you guys kind of see the information pop up, it is going to say sector B12.
I got an honest question.
No, you don't know where sector B12 is.
No, that's not it.
Oh, okay.
2, actually. 1. Cleaners can usually get away with a utility knife, but it's literally just a utility knife. Would that still be stated as a knife? I'm asking for mechanical purpose.
I know. For the most part, yeah, it might not be as much. Might not get to add. Might only be like a D6 or something like that. Might not get to add all your full strength or something. But yeah.
Okay, then the only thing closer to a weapons those got is a utility knife. The second question: troopers. Do they look like they're properly kitted, like everything in order? ... type deal.
So this is the Empire. The one
Yeah.
remaining trooper that's not going anywhere. Which I guess I can migrate this guy over.
It's just for her OCD.
No,
She
yeah,
just
yeah,
wants
yeah,
to know if anything's out of place.
yeah. I got you. So that trooper ended up leaving with the technicians.
Okay.
So there's actually one trooper there. Yeah, he is standard Imperial trooper, much like the military that says, "Here's your standard kit. These are the things you're supposed to have on you at all times. These are the life important ones and everything else. Everything that they're supposed to have, they have." So, yep, he's standing there with a blaster rifle. head to toe armor. Looks like he's
Everything looks like. Sorry.
yeah, everything looks like the stormtroopers you've seen.
Okay, so everything looks clean and pristine.
Yep, absolutely.
Mental nod. It's like nice. All right. So left, yes.
I'm going to look at the trooper and go, "Hey, I'm new here. I'm supposed to be going to B12. Which direction is that?"
He will just motion with his helmet towards the as you the players are facing the right of the map. So he himself is facing that way. So he'll motion his right, your left at the time.
Okay, so I'm gonna go that direction.
Okay. Yumi will wait for Kanza as the officer kind of just goes back to doing his thing. He just kind of sits there, goes to some paperwork or whatever, kind of doing his stuff. Things that the trooper's just standing there waiting for something to happen. You can actually kind of tell he's at attention, but you can kind of tell this is that I'm forced to do it and I'm bored as all get out. But I have to do it because this is my post. So yeah, that's that. Now, as you guys are gonna be heading over there, Crom, you, Jada, and Zagar are going to basically get there. The officer will straighten up and say, "Oh, yes, the supplies," and then he will look at you, Crom, and he's not going to be antsy, but he does give that kind of like, ugh, one of your kind look. And then he will look at Jada and then he will say, do you have the manifest? Because I assume you're the captain. And she says, this one is the captain. And then she will walk over, present the manifest, and the trooper or the officer will actually kind of go through, look at it, and kind of do what needs to be done and everything else. And then he'll say, okay, he says everything does look in order. And then he'll say, just let me cross-reference. And he will actually plug something into the data pad from his computer terminal. And then basically there'll be kind of a moment where things on his computer seem to glitch. He goes, oh, stupid systems. Just a moment. And he starts kind of like typing and things that to clear some stuff up. And she says, take your time. This one can wait. And after a few moments, the computer will kind of clear up and things that, and then he will make the comparison, and then there will also be kind of like a final check at the bottom saying, "Yep, you're good. This is proper." And then he will nod his head, basically take the data pad, sign off on it, hand it back to her, and will tell her, "You can leave those here." He says, "I will have a I will have what would that end up being? I will have someone come pick them up." And it is big enough of an area that you can literally just drop them off to the side. So Jada just nods her head and she says, okay. And then basically starts dropping them off. Crom, I imagine you do the same thing, followed by Zagar.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm just kind of so every time this guy looks at me, I'm just giving that blank face of a dumb dog, just staring straight ahead. And I just look at him, and I just every time I catch eye contact with him, I just give him a toothy smile.
What do you notice this? Hold on.
The tomfoolery.
Yep. That's a spinning dice. Yeah, he's going to notice this, and you can tell from his mannerisms he's slightly uncomfortable, but he's actually doing relatively well keeping everything together. He's not like freaking out or anything crazy like that. He's just kind of looking at you like, oh no. All right. So we will handle the next to be a cutscene.
Okay.
As basically everybody's kind of doing their stuff, going their wares, doing things that, and then it'll cut down. And you will actually see a Lambda class shuttle, And for those of you not in the know, it's that kind of ship with the wing on the dorsal or the top, and then 2 wings at the bottom that fold up to the side. You see one coming out of hyperspace, and it goes past the Star Destroyer to the moon base. As it makes its way to the moon base, it can actually be seen flying over the DP-28 and then begins its landing procedures as the wings will kind of go from the down position to the up position and kind of make a skirting motion to the opposite side of the landing platforms that you guys had landed on. And when it lands, I actually kind of see that it's a 2-story building. And you guys are essentially on the 1st story landing pads. And this is going to land on the 2nd story landing pads on the opposite side of where you guys are. So as it does this, it'll kind of do that, letting off the steam into band of gas and all that stuff. As a couple of black-cladded troopers are going to be walking out from the ramp that opens at the very bottom front. And behind them will be a gentleman who is wearing a cloak. He's got kind of a balding head. He has this slightly intricate cloth, I think his is, that kind of goes across his eyes and then around his head. He's got just a little bit of facial hair, well kept, older gentleman. I can't say older. We'll say midlife kind of guy, 40s, 50s, somewhere around in there. And he's going to be walking down the ramp behind the other troopers. There will be troopers that are going to be post at the door that are going to see him go through the whole rigmarole, standing up and things, that they will walk through these doors. The officer, similar to what you guys had, is behind a desk. He will notice him and, stand at attention, do the salute, the whole 9 yards, as this gentleman and these troopers basically just don't ask any questions. They are not stopped. They just make a beeline. So they go through a 2nd set of doors, and then as they round to the 3rd doors, they will stop as about 5'2", 5'4" gentleman. Looks like he's in his mid-40s, give or take. Kind of rotund. He's got a nice handlebar mustache. Got the pudgy cheeks with like the kind of redding face. I kind of see this dude having like a strawberry blonde or red kind of hair. As he turns and says, "Oh, hi, Inquisitor Jarek." And then he kind of does like a slight bow. He says, I was not expecting you so soon. And the troopers that are standing in front of him will kind of step off to the side, face each other to allow Jarek to step forward. And Jarek will say, "Nevertheless, I am here. I imagine you had read the message sent to you by Emperor Palpatine." "Oh, of course, sir, of course. It didn't give too many details. It said that you were here for some kind of business?" And Jarek will say, "Yes, and that business is to be my business. You will, from here on in, answer to me. Everything that is to occur will go through me. However, I do not want people knowing that I am here. So you will still handle the commands from day to day. However, you must run them past beforehand. I am here to look for certain objects," he says. And they will start walking into what appears to be the office of Admiral Lask. And when they do, Jarek will normally, and if you guys have worked at a business like this, you kind of know when the big bosses come in, that are above like your store lead or whoever is your boss, usually they kind of take over that person's office. Jarek actually doesn't do that. He kind of walks, and rather than sitting in the guy's chair, he will kind of just walk over and kind of peruse the entirety of the room, and kind of this uncomfortable moment of silence as Admiral Lask will kind of begin kind of starting to sweat, and then he'll kind of do one of those pull of the collar things, and he'll say, um, "Hi, Inquisitor Jarek. If I may be so bold as to ask again, to be an assistance and a help, what exactly are you looking for?" Jarek will stop, and he'll kind of motion a head over to him, and then look back, and he'll say, well, and then he'll look back at him, and then he'll say, well, fine. I'm here for a number of reasons. The Emperor has sent me to find out more information about a rumored artifact referred to as the Dark Strider weapon. We have not much information on this, besides the fact that it is some type of weapon that is imbued with the Force. We do not know much about this. However, the Emperor is very intrigued, as am I. Many of the many of the archives in the Jedi Temple had only alluded to such type of weaponry and stories and rumors. There's never been any hard, concrete evidence. And then Lass will kind of nod his head, looking almost a little lost, like, oh, okay. And he'll say, and the other reason, he says, there has been rumor, he says, that a couple of Jedi have been spotted in this area. And Lask will say, Jedi? Here? And then Jarek will nod his head and say, yes, just a couple. He says, one, he says, is ID'd as a possible Morgan Katarn, though he wasn't present during the Jedi purge. He could still pose a danger to the Empire at large. And I'm kind of just looking into these types of things to see whether those rumors are true. And then Lask will be like, oh, and the other Jedi? Someone famous like Yoda or Kenobi? And Jarek just kind of throws a hand up and says, no. He says, we still don't have much information, he says, on either one of them. He says, however, he says, this one eludes me. He says, this one must have been a rather young one. He says, there doesn't appear to be any matching descriptions in any of the archives. He says, given the time, he says, since the Jedi Purge, he says, and now, he says, that's the only thing that fits the description. Oh, well. Justify the description. And he'll kind of, okay. And then as Jarek's kind of talking, like his head will kind of quickly move to the side. And then he'll say, huh. And he'll kind of have his mouth open just ever so slightly, and he'll start licking like the bottom of his lip, and he'll say, oh, now that is intriguing. And Admiral Lask will say, sir? And then Jarek will kind of motion his head back, and he'll say, oh, don't worry about it. He says, just as you were. And then he will basically kind of exit the room as it'll kind of make another screen transition to Jada and Crom. As Jada... Huh?
Sorry.
You're fine, what?
Anybody wearing their brown pants by chance?
What's pants?
Right? We're streaming. We ain't got to wear pants. I mean...
Good point. I can neither confirm nor deny.
I will neither confirm nor deny.
Even though I'm clearly in a bathrobe.
Right? So, we are actually going to be jumping to Jada and Crom. You guys have finished off the shipment. You guys are basically kind of getting it, warming up, the ship getting ready for takeoff. Jada will tell you that she needs you to head to the cockpit,
Sure.
and she needs you to begin the takeoff. She says, but try not to get too far from the platform because she's going to essentially kill the engines. So you guys can essentially attempt to buy anywhere between a half hour and an hour for the rest of the group to get what they need to and then get out of here.
So okay, so you essentially want me to test the engines and they fail.
No, she says, I need you to begin liftoff. She says, as if we were leaving. She says, and I am going to essentially cut the engines. So do not go too far, is what she says.
So just basically, just barely get off the ground.
Yeah, she's like, start getting off the ground. She's like, start making and she basically explains how she wants you to do it. Now we'll see what the dice have to say. But yeah, she's basically going to go ahead and head back to the engine room itself to get ready to kind of prep. And then Zagar's like, can I help?
I'm gonna look at Jada and look at him. You're good with machines, right? You might want to help her, or you can help me. That's up to you.
Jada looks at Zagar, then looks at you, Crom, and she'll say, Zagar, come with Jada. She says, if something goes wrong, she says, this one will need to rush to the cockpit. Zagar goes, okay. So, Crom, I need you
Jeez.
to roll a mechanical
Alright.
space transport. I was going to say Starfire. Space transport check.
Oh, goody. I'm
Yeah.
actually good with this.
Nice. Make it convincing.
So he says before his roll.
And the one who just jinxed me.
Nice. Remember, you can spend force points. You can also spend character points just before you tell me the roll.
Wow, it's not the worst roll I've had.
Good.
Let's see. There's no one, so
That
it's
is
a good
really
start.
good. All right.
10. Let's see. 10. 12. 15.
Fantastic. So you will actually begin to take off and start kind of making through the motions as you are going to hear kind of popping noises, and you're actually going to get slightly worried and confused, like, oh shit, did she actually blow the damn engines? And like the panic on your face is like, oh. And then I kind of see the camera from the outside actually sees a little bit of smoke popping from one of the ports where the engines are. And you're going to be hearing Jada say over the ship's comm, struggle to put it down. And then you're going to kind of pretend to struggle, and you're going to notice that though the engines are out, their pulse lists seem to be working just fine, and you're able to kind of make it look like it's a bigger deal than what it is with that roll.
Okay.
As you're able to kind of forcibly land the ship back down on the dock once, or the platform. Once you do, boom, there'll be kind of a moment of like, oh crap, as you will actually see the entirety of the docking platforms kind of slightly shake, where you're like, oh, is this just gonna give away? And so there is a panic in that one. And then Jada will it'll kind of cut to her and Zagar, and she will look at Kit and she will say, be sure to keep the engines offline until this one gives a signal. And you hear Kit, beep, 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 boop, and then he kind of flies towards the engine compartment and then goes into like this little small duct kind of area and all that kind of fun stuff. the everyone else is going to be hearing alarms clacking as they say over the entirety of the base that there is a uh I think they'd still refer to it as a crash landing. Crash landing on docking. I keep wanting to say docking bay. Docking platform 5. Crash landing. Docking platform 5. And there will be people running out and everything else, kind of, standard procedure stuff. They've got fire extinguishers and everything else. Crom, you're going to see this as everyone else is going to have people like running past them and all the other kind of fun stuff. So, Jada at that point will kind of hit the door to the cockpit, and then she'll look out and she'll just kind of go, well, I believe we got their attention.
I think we did.
And she'll
Should
just
we
kind
get
of,
out there?
yeah, she'll kind of put a hand on your shoulder and she'll say, remember, Crom, do not rip their arms out of their sockets. Behave.
Oh, I won't. I will behave. As long as none don't point guns at me, I'm fine.
There's a couple troopers there, but you notice more of them are actually like pilots and like maintenance crew and things that just rushing out. So yeah, there's that. We will jump over to. I'm actually going to start out with Yumi and Kanza. So Yumi, Kanza. Let's see. I will be using Jada's token here to help represent her. And I need to start clearing some of these doors. Hold on. Okay.
We have a Dash Darklater,
Mm-hmm.
an Inquisitor.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see how this could possibly end badly.
So this was supposed to be all part of the complications thing that I didn't get to finish out.
Yeah.
So alrighty then. So Kanza, what would you like to do as Yumi is going to be kind of walking like she owns the place through the door, and then the door that she's at, you can kind of notice that there are a couple of troopers and what looks like pilots. This appears to be some kind of quarters of some kind. You can see beds, and then you can also see like chests or chests of drawers or something like that. Of course, with it being space, it'll be like metallic and all that kind of fun stuff. She is going to basically just walk this way. Some of the troopers are some of the pilots are going to see her salute. She'll salute back. The troopers are just going to nod their head like, hey, to acknowledge her. She'll nod her head in kind. So, if you look over to basically right over here to your right, you're actually going to be noticing that this seems to be some kind of fancy platform that has a bunch of pipes and hoses and all this other kind of fun stuff. There are a few windows that are kind of there for everybody to kind of look out of, and the remaining of the crew would have also noticed this through the window that was behind the officer when you guys first checked in. It just kind of dawned on me that I forgot to mention it. So, all right, Kanza, what you doing?
So, guys said head towards maintenance.
Mm-hmm.
I would have no idea exactly where that is.
Nope.
Assuming there's no map in that main entrance.
No, there's no map. You're supposed to know where you're going, essentially. The Empire is kind of weird that way. But you are also supposed to be a droid, so when you say maintenance, there should be some kind of a protocol for maintenance, quote unquote.
Oh crap.
Yeah.
Imagine,
Quote.
I just. Mm.
You know what? Kanza has no idea where she's going. She is going to follow Yumi into the room.
Okay. So as you do, I actually don't know what kind of check that would be. Give me just a moment. The troopers and pilots aren't really going to be paying attention to you. Jada's outfit seems to be working. So long as you don't, you kind of feel, so long as you don't do anything stupid, you should be okay to not draw their attention unneeded.
Try not to sneeze in the stuffy suit. Got it.
Yeah. How about mechanics? I don't think. Tell you what, they actually don't have one for what I was kind of thinking, but I will give the option to roll either knowledge or mechanical if you would like to know what all that is out those windows.
I'll go with mechanical.
Okay.
That is a 6 on the wild die.
Nice. We love
That's
hearing
another 6.
Ah, you're gonna be smart. I'm liking it.
Okay.
Okay. What's up?
So that is 18.
18? Fantastic. So you do remember hearing that this moon is basically filled with a natural Tabana gas. There are moons and planets that are that way. Even the TLZ know. And Tabana gas is used for many different things depending on how it is processed. So it can be used as a coolant, essentially as like, what you'd use for cooling down ship parts, engines, things like that. Can actually also be used as a weaponry or ammunition. Let's put it that way. So those blaster bullets that you see in the shows and the movies and things of that, that is one component that basically make the shot. It is a processed Tabana gas mixed with an electrical current that essentially, when the trigger's pulled, bam, it makes the shot. Okay. Now, what you're seeing is, as you're kind of walking, thinking about these things with a little bit Kanza knows, you're going to realize that this is the final stage of processing for, we're going to refer to it as weapons grade Tabana gas. So it has been processed and used to basically be stuff to be used in blasters and starship weaponry. So that's where the magic happens.
Neat.
Yep.
Sudden urge to punch a hole in the side of it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because I know with there we go. The Tabana gas, normally I will give you this one for free. Tabana gas normally isn't explosive. So basically how the moon is, when you guys flew in with your ship, if it were explosive in its natural state, you guys would have set something off, you know what I mean, with your engines. However, in its current state, yes, if somebody basically dropped a thermal or if somebody had shot and hit a container, it could set off a chain reaction that could be very, very bad. You are also going to notice as a freebie that there are several armed guards that do not appear to have blaster weaponry, but they do have some kind of melee weaponry, kind of like stun batons and things of that on them. And they've also got the. Well, no, you wouldn't know that. Never mind. So that is that. Okay. Now, Jada, not Jada, Yumi. Yumi. Bam. Yumi will go to the door. And when she does, if you are going to follow her, you're going to notice that she is walking into a large hangar bay.
Ow.
So the hangar bay is going to basically end up having rows of TIE fighters. So I kind of see that there's going to be at least like 3 or 4 rows off to one side. Actually, let me rephrase this. There's basically going to be 2 rows right here and then 2 rows right here. Now they're set up on what's kind of referred to as a rack system. So basically what happens is that there are kind of, if you can imagine, a bicycle chain that kind of set at an angle that can actually house the TIE fighters, and they will basically kind of rotate out so you can fit multiple TIE fighters in one area. So the pilots basically run, get into the TIE fighter, they start taking off, the chain will kind of go, another pilot will get in, and they'll start taking off. The TLZ has something similar to this. There are going to be various different pilots kind of walking around. Looks like they are doing some cleaning. Some people are doing maintenance on some droids and all that other kind of fun stuff. There'll just be various different stuff going around. There's a very large door over here, which you could assume to be the exit for the docking bay. And Yumi is going to get it right about here. And I'll go ahead and move your token right here. As she will begin to start walking to the right, and you will hear her say, "There's a door ahead," and she'll kind of motion with her head and point out the door that's over here. Boop. She will say, "In there should be only one door that'll be towards the back and off to the left. That is maintenance," she says. Head there and wait for my signal," is what she's going to say. And then she will begin to peel off and head this way.
Yeah, Kanza's not gonna say anything. She's just gonna start making her way towards that door.
Here's hoping it doesn't have an auto docking system for droids. Ugh. Scary thought.
It is a scary thought.
Because racking a droid is not fun.
Alrighty then. So while we're doing that, let's jump back to the rest of the crew who went to this right side. All right. So you guys essentially are free to do whatever you want within reasoning.
So we're going to the right?
You are going to the right.
Okay. I will be looking for signs directing where I would need to go.
Yes. There are going to basically be some minor signs along the wall. Man, what is up with my stuff here? There are going to be some minor signs that are going to be on the wall, and as you're kind of walking down, you're going to notice that there's not really too much in terms of doors. So it does kind of look like it's directing everything to the turbo lifts, and then you're going to notice that there are 2 troopers that are standing facing each other towards the end of this hallway, and they've got their blaster rifles down, and they're just kind of casually talking and carrying on.
All right. But I can see signs directing me towards the turbo lift?
Yep.
Okay.
So the turbo lifts, so you guys know, and I can kind of get everybody else going. Turbo lifts are over here. Boop.
Oh, crap. How did I get dragged that
I don't know.
far? Oh, well. We'll roll with it.
All right.
All right.
So
I'll board the turbo lift.
all right. So there are the turbo lifts that will end up having signs. That will basically put. Let me double check my map stuff here. Now, the question is, where did you actually want to go? Did you want to immediately make it peel off to try to get the information? Did you want to actually try to find some kind of maintenance area? Like, where do you foresee you going?
Honestly, either one of those sounds like a plan, but the information is the main goal is getting info, right?
Yeah, getting the info is the main goal. Now,
However, we're also trying not to look conspicuous AF.
oh yeah. Now I will grant you without a check. You guys had basically been told, I think at one point in time, I could be mistaken. If you weren't, I'm giving it to you as a freebie. Is that the information was supposed to be, I think I do remember going over this quite a bit, was it was essentially going to be the emails and messages and things that of the admiral and the vice admiral, and I believe it was brought up by Jed or somebody that all this stuff could be essentially grabbed, downloaded, and put or taken from either one of their offices or the communications. So as you're looking at the turbo lifts, you are going to see a section that basically is going to say, well, it'd be kind of, I think, like a post in the middle that'll basically say communications, offices, rec room. What else was there important to? Medical. And sanitation.
All right. Got a quick question.
Yep.
Is there a role I can make to have an idea militarily wise from that point? How tight of a ship they run, or who might be in charge?
Mm, so if you rolled knowledge law enforcement, that one essentially would let you understand who's in charge, what's running around, basically the inner workings of the empire, depending on what it is when you're wanting to make the check. If you're wanting to try to, I think that would also work if you're trying to figure something out.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So knowledge roll.
Knowledge law enforcement.
I have enforcement, so just knowledge.
So with the way the map is, would I notice Erica over there?
Yes. So, as a little bit before you give me your number, you're going to notice and look around that there's a door here that actually seems like it's perpetually open, that looks like it kind of leads into a hangar bay. You are still going to notice this large mess of whatever with pipes, and looks like they have some guards and things of that. This is an open air walkway that has basically kind of like a about waist height guardrail that Erica is just kind of walking over casually. And then you're actually going to see over here where they're going to have in basic written mess. So yeah. Now, what was your check number? So
Taking a drink.
That is the
okay. I didn't
number.
see he was taking a drink. My bad. My bad.
One.
That was also the number 4 with a 1 on the wild.
So what was the question?
Okay, my question basically is who's in charge? How do they run shit?
Okay. What was the total?
4, 1 on the wild.
Okay.
Yeah.
You are going to not know if there is a Imperial ranked officer that's running it, or if there's basically going to be what would be referred to as a foreman that would essentially be overlooking everything, since they are doing Tabana gas. Essentially, if they're basically kind of like put an Imperial form in there to make sure everything runs going. You're looking around and everything appears to be very ship shape. Halls are clean. Nobody's really loitering that much. Everything seems to be on the up and up.
You know.
Okay.
Well, Richard, we probably want to be as far away from that, the asset as we should.
Okay.
Aim it
So
very, very lowly, since I'm right next to Richard.
you guys can actually technically go into whichever lift you want, but do you have a preference? Top or
No,
bottom?
I'm actually going to turn around,
Mm-hmm.
noticing Erica, and go, "Excuse me, ma'am. Um,
Stiff no
what
goes stiff as a
what
board.
direction were we supposed to be going in again?"
She will kind of like you motion her head like, oh yes, like acknowledging you, and then she'll say, the sanitation sanitation should be on the second floor, um, southeast, in the corner, she says.
Ma'am, yes, ma'am.
Understood. Thank you.
Or would it be, or would it be sir in their military?
In the military, they say sir. In regards to
Sir.
gender, it's sir.
I'm
Um,
thinking more of we're contracted
Yeah.
janitors.
Yeah.
yeah, true, but I'm also acting like I'm afraid of the Empire.
So
So,
All right. So
I'll
which
take the
lift?
lift with sanitation.
well, those following.
All right. So you will be jumping in the same lift as Erica. Let's see.
So we're still hearing bomb, 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 bomb,
Yeah.
bomb, bomb.
Second you open the door, you're hearing the Imperial March. Maybe this version's like a cool jazz version or something like that. So
So like smooth,
Adamox.
so smooth jazz then.
Yeah, it could be something like that. Elevator jazz.
I'm
So
sitting there going, it's got some good bass in this.
right. So go ahead and present your tokens inside the lift if you would, or place, excuse me, not present.
Needs more hi hat.
I
Right?
can't. There are walls everywhere. Oh, wait. I
Yep.
managed to get through.
What?
Uh-huh. There
I
you
tried
go.
to drag myself into there, but you can only go through one square.
Ah,
Yep.
was that by design?
Yep. Okay.
What were you going to do if we couldn't find the square?
Laugh
Laugh.
at us.
Yeah. Okay. So Kanza, while they're taking the lift, we'll jump over to you real quick. You will hit the door. This
That's
door will
one.
open up. And then you'll basically be seeing a hangar bay, maintenance for a hangar bay. So you're basically gonna basically is what I was literally was gonna say. You're going to be seeing various different TIE fighters that have been disassembled, fixed, that they're working on. Uh, Mechanics as far as the eye can see. There are computers that some people are at, and they're kind of plugging into droids, and they're like, kind of running through, doing a bunch of mechanic work and things of that. As you walk in, you're going to notice that there's a door over here that appears to be like the door that Erica, yeah, had said, head there.
Start making my way to that door.
All right.
No, I have to.
Patow. This door is open for you. So, yep, you're gonna walk in. You're gonna see just a bunch of droids. R2 units are going to be more or less. Those are the little trash can looking ones with the legs on the side. They're gonna basically be plugged more or less into like the wall. Look like they're on a low power mode, so they don't have many lights on. It's like they're kind of being weighted, or they're waiting to be called into doing what they need to do. There is going to be a droid that is going to be servicing the other droids, as it basically kind of is going through checking, running diagnostics, doing all this stuff. Now, thankfully, there appears to be a little bit of a line of at least 6 other droids in front of you. So it's not like it's going to be jumping right to you and realize you're an organic. But yeah, you're basically kind of standing there going, crap, I wonder if Yumi knew this or not.
She set me up.
You might have. Okay, now.
Kanza's just gonna fall in line and try not to sweat.
Yep.
Beep
All right
boop.
then. Beep boop.
Beep beep boop.
Beep beep boop.
What do you say about my mother?
Right?
Wait, wait a minute. I thought you said she looked like a protocol.
Yeah,
Those can speak English,
they can.
Yeah,
can't they?
Yeah, they speak basic.
she's defective.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I'm
Also, I
defective. When they
dropped
plug
something in
me
the
in, they
chat.
don't find any data. They're like, wait, what? Somebody wipe you?
That's basically what I imagine is playing.
All right. Let's see here. Alrighty then. Let's see here. Oh, you come on, you goofy thing.
Hmm.
Alrighty. So you guys are in the lift, and Yumi is going to turn and look at you, and then she will say, um, so far so good.
Yeah.
She will also hold on a second, because not stream, but how is that not kicking you guys over?
They kicked us over.
It kicked you over, but I'm referring to what stream can see. That's map cover. Don't want map cover. Whoop, that was not the thing.
That
Wait.
felt good.
I think I know what I might have had happen. I'm not sure. There we go. Maybe.
We did it.
We did it.
I
We
still
did it.
think moving.
Yeah, because like
Dora,
I'm moving the whole thing.
where you at?
Oh. Okay.
Huh.
So Tim, what'd you think about that video?
I'm not going to watch it during game.
Oh, you're streaming. Gotcha.
That's right. Okay. The fact that you hadn't thought about that slightly concerns and upsets me. All right. So.
I thought Allie was streaming.
No, I let Scotty have the spotlight for this one.
Yeah. It is.
But
Dice
no, I'm
Dorks.
going to pay attention to the game and not a video.
Absolutely. As
I am
one
as well.
should. Anyways,
It's very
moving
low
on. Erica will say that the communications area should be here, provided there's no security or anything out of place. She is going to say that she should be able to go in and basically just plug in and get the information. It should only take her a little while. She will she'll basically ask you guys what you want to do. She's not really a master planner at this kind of stuff. She's just kind of going along with it.
So when you say it would just take a little while, can you give me an increment?
Anywhere between minute to 10. She says it all depends on the size of the files and if they are neatly organized or not. I do believe Mojo requested the past 3 months. Is that correct? She'll question you guys.
Yeah.
I believe so.
So, question: would my previous role still cover how knowledge on how well they tend to be organized?
Nope.
Or should I pick another one?
Nope. It is one roll for one time. So if you want to do something like that, you would have to attempt it again.
Okay, because that Okay, so the same knowledge roll, or
Same thing. Actually, are you wanting to do it for specifically for the computer system about whether or not they keep their how they keep their files?
yeah, would that be under technical?
Yep, it would end up being computers program repair, which should be mechanical, I think. Oh, it might not be. Armor.
It's technical.
Is it technical? Yep. So yep, technical
Yeah, I
computer
have the
program
skill.
repair. Yep.
Good. That's one more dice for me.
Nice.
So I'm gonna roll the technical.
There you go.
9.
9.
9?
Uh so ideally, yeah. There's going to be more or less kind of like profiles that should be set up for each person, uh regardless of their positioning. That's essentially like, here's your business email and here's all your stuff and blah blah blah. All she's got to essentially do is tap into the names that she had been given, and then basically just download all the things that she needs to download. Provided once again that they have not deleted their stuff. That could be a
So we'll
complication.
regurgitate that information to you.
Regurgitate it,
Just go to
So
the group policy object, commanders,
so basically, so
download.
long as
right?
the TLDR, I'll get. Do you want me to repeat or just give it TLDR?
No, you just basically that I regurgitated or I stated everything they heard.
Regurgitate.
Yeah, regurgitate it. They know everything that I'd said, so you don't have to go through the
Oh,
whole rigmarole if you don't want to.
fair enough.
So I'm going to look at Yumi and go, ideally, get information, get out. How are you going to let us know when you're finished?
Um, she will say, I can reach you on Comlink.
Okay. Wanted to make
Um,
sure.
Hopefully, hopefully you finish it before they want us to clean up a massive mass of shab.
possibly. Okay. So as you guys are having your conversation, we're gonna jump back to Crom and Jada. Jada has opened up the ramp. These mechanics and the troopers, for defensive reasons, have come in and they're kind of looking around and they're asking questions and things that to Jada. Um, Zagar is basically just keeping as far away as possible. He's just anytime anybody asks him, he's like, "I'm not the mechanic. I just lug stuff." What would Crom like to do? Yeah, exactly.
Uh, fuck.
There's your one.
No, I'm wondering what that noise is.
That would be
It's coming
Zoe.
from
Yeah.
Zoe's mic.
Yeah.
Uh, sorry.
Coming from everything, I'm muted. Or at least
So, that threw my thought off for a minute.
Yeah.
I need to do that.
Yeah, troopers are in there. People are asking what's going on. Jada is kind of giving the TLDR. What would Crom like to do as people are kind of investigating what's up with the ship?
I'm just kind of ignoring them for the most part, unless they're specifically trying to talk to me.
Okay.
I'm just wandering the ship and just doing checks.
Okay. So yeah, you're kind of going around doing all that stuff, or you're gonna be doing the checks in the actual engine room, or you're gonna be doing it in the cockpit, or you're gonna be doing it.
One.
Basically, anywhere I think it might be. I'm trying to delay and help Jada. I know where it's specifically supposed to be.
Right.
I'm just kind of going. I'm going as slowly as I can in that direction
I got you.
while doing.
Okay.
The
So as
advantages
you're
of being a Wookiee on an Imperial base.
exactly. So as you're kind of going and doing, there will be a mechanic that is going to kind of walk in a little bit later, and he's going to look at Jada and his eyes are going to kind of like sparkle a little bit and he'll get a smile, and it's that kind of look of like familiarity, like I haven't seen you in a long time. Jada is still going to be answering questions. She will say, this one doesn't know. She says, upon lifting off, she says, there had been some noise. and there was an explosion. She says, I think it may have been an overload in the power coupling that had sent off and hit one of the coolant tanks. And she's giving like this huge long description of what it could be. And the mechanics are like, oh, yeah. And she's, they're kind of going through all the rigmarole and things of that. The trooper will ask, like, do you need any assistance from our mechanics to go through? And she will say, provided it is what this one believes it to be, um, repairs can be made easily within 30 minutes or less, at most an hour. The troopers will kind of like look at each other, and then one of them will turn around and kind of hit the comm. Uh, yes, sir. We are being told, and he relays that information. And you're gonna hear over the comm link, glorious. If they don't feel that they need our help, bring the mechanics back. We have our own things to deal with. Yes, sir. And then before the guy gets off the comms and things, that he's make a small post. He says, just in case. Yes, sir. And then the trooper will turn back and he will motion his head and he'll say, okay, mechanics. He says, head back to work. And then he will look over at the other guy. He says, come on. He says, we got to post up outside. So as they're all going and doing things, that this mechanic will walk up and he will be like, Jada, is that you? And she'll kind of look around and she will walk up to him and shake his hand, kind of give him a hug and all that kind of stuff. And she will say, Nixo, it's been so long. And he'll say, oh, yes. He goes, I'm surprised. He goes, after you were honorably discharged, I didn't think I'd ever see you again. And then she'll kind of get slightly uncomfortable from that statement. And then she'll say, yeah, she says, this one must always stay busy. And he'll go, oh, so you're the mechanic on the ship? And she says, yes, this one is the mechanic for the ship, as well as acting captain. Our normal captain has run into
I know
some,
the captain got sick.
yeah,
Yeah,
basically.
he got really ill.
Yeah. So, and he's like, oh, I'm so sorry about that and everything else. And they'll kind of start talking and he'll say, he says, um, things are kind of getting a little weird and strange out there. He says, there's this little like spots of rebellion. He's like just popping up all over the galaxy. He's like, things aren't what they used to be. He says, we aren't able to keep up doing the same jobs. He's like, they're wanting everything done quicker and faster. He says, and he said, if you ever thought about enlisting, he goes, I mean, we could use a mechanic like you, re-enlisting. And she says, no, she says, this one has done her time. And Jada believes that the Empire is not a suitable fit for her. And the guy will just like, okay, all right. And he says, but if you ever change your mind, he goes, we could really use you. He's like, there's a lot of mechanics. He's like that could use and benefit from somebody of your knowledge and skill. And she'll nod her head and she'll say, Jada will keep this in mind. And then he will turn around and start making his way out. The ramp will stay open, and she will even bring that to your attention that the ramp needs to stay open for essentially Imperial protocol and for show, as well as if things really go sideways and the others need to run to the ship, she wants to keep the ramp open anyways. So, was there anything that Crom wanted to say or to do?
I'm just going to look at Jada and basically talking shop with her, making sure no one's really in the earshot.
Yep.
Basically, coding in. Is there anything we need to take care of?
Jada will just shake her head and she'll say, no, she says this one had actually taken the time, she says, to essentially, and she will explain it in great mechanical detail, but essentially what you're going to be gleaming from is that she set up a minor charge on the outside of the hall where one of the engine bays were kind of. So when it went off, it was basically a smoke bomb that made things look a lot worse than what it was. And then she more or less sent like a power surge through one of the couplings, and then was able to isolate that to keep it from actually doing anything major. So that's why it did not affect your repulsor lifts. And then she will basically kind of say that Kit's in there right now. He'll have it basically replaced in like 5 minutes. And the moment that she tells him to kick everything on, she says he will basically take as she's going to kind of refer to it as is like the on switch and turn it, basically the switch and turn it on.
I'm just gonna nod and say, whenever you need me.
She will nod her head and she will say, if Kron would like to stay near the door, she says, just in case they need to make a quick escape, is what she's going to say.
You know me. If you need me to be the muscle, I am the muscle.
All right. So Zagar is kind of like, yeah, he's standing there with you guys. And he's like, so you guys ain't worried about these Imperials?
Oh, trust me. I'm very worried. We are in the middle of enemy territory. I'm as worried as I can be.
Yeah. A second. Notice here.
To be clear, we're caribou. They are the wolves.
Pretty much.
And keyword there, Scotty, is you.
Yeah. The Zagar will basically kind of like while he's talking to you guys will get a cold like and he'll actually kind of like hold on to himself. He's like, why did it just get so cold all of a sudden? And he'll look at both of you and go, is there some kind of vent on? He says that I don't know about.
Oh no.
I'm gonna kind of glance at the vents, like, no, it shouldn't be on.
Oh,
Why? What's wrong?
He's like, it's so cold. He's like, I can't. And he actually takes his hand and goes, man, he's like, just, I don't know, just really weird. He's like, this kind of real quick blast of cold. So weird.
I kind of give him a Wookiee hug. I'm just like, let him warm up.
Come
a
here,
little bit.
little guy. Yeah.
Yeah, I just try to. 'Cause I see he's freezing, and I'm just going. I'm big. I'm furry. I help.
I give
I have big fur
hugs to
coat.
him. That's right. All right. So.
Damn it, Scotty.
Yep, and I think that's what the conversation I had with Corona this morning. He might realize what I was hinting at now. Okay.
Yeah.
I already did.
Alrighty then. Let's see. So as you guys are going to get onto the lift, hold on a second. Let's actually forgot to do some placements here.
I had a decent idea the moment that ship showed up.
Yep. Kind of figured you guys would. All right, let us do. Let's see. I need to slap up some tokens here because
Sure
I
has an
did
idea of what's
forget.
going on, but the character must not. Did I get it?
Oh, I don't have any of the cool Shadow Trooper models, do I? No. Well,
So I've got a gnat in my room. I apologize in advance if anybody hears a big smack.
alrighty then. So
That's why I stay muted until it's my turn.
that's right. All right. So as you guys are finishing up your conversation in the turbo lift, the door is going to open, and then you're going to see apparently nothing, at least what it looks like on the stream, which is weird. Oh, no, it's not.
No,
It's not.
it-
No. Because I'm the dumb. I forgot I didn't put them on the right layer. Boop, boop. There we go. Now we should see them. Okay. You're going to see two troopers completely clad in black. And behind them is going to be this gentleman who's going to be in a large cloak that kind of has like a red and black motif with like some kind of nice designs with just a little bit of facial hair, some slightly balding, and he's got like this, kind of cloth just wrapped around his eyes. It looks very similar to a gentleman that you guys had saved from that death planet that you got you found yourself on.
Game Master.
Yes.
Player knows this is bad news, but does the character?
No, you have no idea. You just know that that's
Well, I meant the black troopers.
you know they're higher, better equipped, but you don't know to the
I'm just
extent.
going to raise my eye and step to the side out of the way.
Okay.
The same. So it's pretty much like sirs.
So you may have forgotten player wise, so the DM or GM will be nice. It's only a 2-story. So this isn't one of the fancy turbo lifts. Yeah, it's basically just a basic elevator.
This is
so this
our
is your stop
destination.
essentially.
This is our stop, but
Yep.
the moment that I would see him, I would go to get out of the way.
Yeah. So
Like,
you're going to, yep, I was gonna say Adam Ox is gonna say, excuse me, as you guys follow, and they're waiting patiently.
nesters.
They, as you guys are kind of going, the troopers will step in and the guy will begin to step in, and then he stops and he turns and he says, be on the lookout. He says, we may have a breach in security. If you come across anything. And he gets this really weird smile. He says, please let us know. And then he goes into the turbo lift and then the door shut.
I
Well,
was going to respond, what am I looking for?
We're also custodians, but I would have said sir, but I know they're in friendly area, but did they follow custom and clear the area before they let them in?
You guys basically walked out. They basically kind of walked in. That was it.
Yeah.
There was no need to.
I had to ask since VIP and all of that crap.
Yeah. Nope. Even though dude is VIP, like I said, they just kind of walked in, turned around, and then he stopped.
I mean,
we did.
it is an Empire ship, so threats are kind of
station. So yeah,
sorry.
at that point, Yumi will kind of look at you guys with like this inquisitive look, and she will say, is he on to us?"
I was going to ask. It's like, is there an actual? I don't think there's an actual insight in the. What would be the closest thing
In a
to that?
traditional D6 Star Wars system, there is not. However, the beauty of the system is that I can add whatever I want. And if you recall, a few sessions back, I had said that a insight could be added as perception. So perception insight is a thing.
I don't have it, but I will roll the perception.
Absolutely.
13.
You honestly don't know, but you got a bad feeling about this. Like they might be on to you guys already.
Pardon the. I know Zegers. I know he's not here, but pardon this. But I think there might be onto us, or there might be a disturbance of the force, or whatever. Some
I'm
Jedi
going to
crap.
look at Yumi and go, let's just make this as quick as we can. They might be onto us. It might be something else.
She will kind of lower her head in a thoughtful pose, and then she'll kind of slowly nod it, and she will say, yeah, she says, I'll go in, I'll get the information. She says, don't dilly-dally around. She says, in fact, she says, you might want to follow me to the communications room.
Scotty, how clean is the area?
Clean. You don't see any troopers or anything, really, do you? You kind of can see at the end of the hall that there's like, looks like there's a couple troopers there, but.
Well, I was asking for what we're posing at. Like,
oh, it's clean. It's totally clean. It's
immaculate.
Fine.
She has a job for us.
Yeah, she's basically kind of saying we're hurrying this along because if they are onto us, we can't afford to be screwing around.
All right, so I was going to follow basically in a mood that says, yeah, I listen to important person
Okay.
and give off that aura if possible.
Yep. All right. So as she's walking, she is going to reach to where her ear is. It will decloak, and she will press a couple buttons, and then Kanza, you will hear in your earpiece, Kanza, you need to get out of there now. They may be onto us. I need you to secure the entrance that we came into.
And she's just going to respond, understood.
All right.
Right, activate.
Yep. So you're going to go back. Now, what I would like to have, because I don't think they have a performance in this one. If I recall, I'm going to say Perception Con.
Yep, that's it. All right.
Don't
So
have
if you could,
cons, so
yep, Perception Con to essentially walk out like you're supposed to be doing what you're doing.
I'm good at that.
Yes.
Yeah, you're very.
it is 8.
Okay.
I really need to buy con.
Yes. Con can come in handy. Okay.
Oh, considering how I'm
Let's see. Jumping over here. Whoop. Now, I did kind of forget to add the doorway for the comm station. So, we're just going to put you guys right here. And I think I dragged Jarek with you.
Don't let him in the room with us.
Yeah, no, we're not doing that. Not that stupid. Adamox is going to say, I'm going to stay out here. To basically, if anything goes down, and he's going to kind of pull out his knife, his vibro dagger knife.
How did you get that in? How did you get that in here?
I hit it, he says. You didn't
Prison
bring a weapon?
pocket.
Yeah.
I did.
Well, then why are you surprised?
Well, fair enough. More along the lines of, I wasn't expecting you to be able to pull it off. Well done.
He just looks at you like, really? We're doing this right now.
You've had bad luck with vibro knives.
Don't start with me, is what he says.
Am I wrong?
So condescending.
Zoe walks away.
All right. So Yumi is going to walk in. You guys are going to see the communication center. Essentially, is going to be, just as it implies, there's going to be tons of computers. There are going to be several different officers. There are going to be other people in there that are actually very reminiscent to Jada, where they have the droid brains. And they're sat down and they're just kind of going through. They look like they're crunching numbers, doing all this kind of fun stuff. As Yumi walks in, she is going to spot a computer terminal, and then she will look back at Richard and Zoe, and she will say, distract them. She says, if need be, neutralize them. As she immediately makes her way to the terminal, sits down, and then basically kind of reaches to one side of her little cool droid brain like thing, and then pulls out a cable and then basically plugs it right into the data port as things immediately start. So for you guys, I will require a perception con check to see if you want to blend in like you're supposed to be here.
10. You hear me, Scotty?
Yeah, you said 10. I'm just waiting on the other one.
Oh, okay. I wanted to make sure my mic actually picked that up.
Oh, you're good.
15.
You said 17?
15.
Oh, 15. Okay, still good. Yeah, you guys are basically going to be kind of, going around and nonchalantly, like, checking the trash cans and things that, and like, excuse me, and things that, and just making it kind of look like you're supposed to be there.
I figured I'd like have a cloth and I'd start like wiping down the
Yeah.
unused screens and things
Oh,
like
yeah.
that right next to where they're at.
Right.
As I was pretty much looking at getting to the station's feet. Could you lift your feet, please?
Right. So as you guys are kind of going through your cleaning procedures as these janitors, are you guys going to be splitting off in the room? Or are you going to be staying together? Kind
I
of
think
work me through it.
a split would be better. We want to do a bi-directional distract, right?
Yeah, essentially, I'm going to basically just be near a group of them, kind of like cleaning, but also kind of like annoying, like that gnat flying around your monitor,
Yeah.
where I'm basically wiping down the monitors that aren't on, aren't being used,
Right.
the desk around them, things like that.
Okay.
Game
So,
Master, does anyone have an old school keyboard?
no, they're pretty much standard like what you'd see, and I don't know 100% why. Oh, there we go.
Crap. I was trying to do the Star Wars equivalent of water on keyboard.
Oh. Um. Oh, if you're talking about like a manual keyboard, yeah, a lot of them are still manual keyboards. Um.
Anyone stupid enough to have a drink near there?
No, nobody has yet to be stupid enough to have a drink there. However, as you're kind of doing, there is going to be a one of those personnel that have the droid brains is going to look over and he'll kind of tilt his head slightly to you, Zoe, and then he will look back as an officer's kind of leaning over, and he
Uh,
says something and kind of like motions. The officer comes over, looks down, and then looks over at you, and then walks over and says, excuse me. And he looks you up and down and says, ma'am, what are you
yes.
doing here?
Uh, Cleanings, sir.
Um, he will then kind of give a squinted, like questioning look, and he'll say, "You, we aren't scheduled for cleaning."
Uh, s- Look, I was told by this really scary looking. Uh, Correct me if I'm wrong. You described, I forgot his name, but the Inquisitor as a old dude, right?
He is the High Inquisitor, Jarek. Yes, he
I
is a
was
scary looking old dude.
I was instructed to do this by a very scary looking old dude. I
Give
give a
me,
description of High Inquisitor.
give me a con check.
Might I pipe up?
No,
Damn.
Well, I haven't submitted the role yet.
no.
Keep wiping your screen, sir.
Yep, you are blending in, and nobody is bothering you.
Character point.
Okay. Remember, you can spend up to 2 for 1 check.
I'm doing it.
Okay. Hope everyone in chat's having a good time. Trying to keep an eye on it, but obviously running the game, it's a little bit tougher.
16.
16.
If my numbers are correct.
Yeah, they are.
He will say, you described, he's like, somebody, he says, that I have not seen on the space station.
He just entered the lift, sir.
Um,
Zoe says, clearly sounding scared.
he will, he will say, what is your name? Where's your ID card?
I do have papers, yes.
Yes, upon entering, you basically had like a little code sonar that you handed off.
Do you want to give the name or shall I? Because I never just.
I am just the game master. You're playing this character. You give the fake name, you give your real name. I don't care. You just give a name.
Elvira Tanner.
Elvira
Dear
Tannard?
Tanner.
Huh. It's a strange name. He's going to kind of snatch the code cylinder out. He's gonna pull a data pad from underneath, click it in, and then kind of pop up. He will then look at it, look at you, and he'll get this kind of confused look, but then kind of like get this smug, like, damn, I thought I was gonna get to see some action. And he will pop the code stoner out and then forcibly hand it to you, and he'll say, um, well, whether or not, he says, whomever this is, he says, head back, he says, to sanitation. He says, well, we don't need you here right now.
Very well. Sir, may I have a name in case I see this scary man again?
Um, he will say, um, Officer Bartholomew.
Thank you, officer.
Okay.
So has no choice but to leave.
Yep. So you end up exiting, and then Richard, you're still cleaning the monitors, doing excuse me, like doing all this kind of crazy stuff. So
Yep.
we will then screen swipe to the technicians who are dragging in Imperial stormtroopers that are out of their armor and kind of throwing them, as the 3 or 4 technicians are standing next to another stormtrooper. They all are geared out, they're holding helmets, and you guys, the players, would know DC is one of these stormtroopers, as he looks over and he says, oh god, I hate these stupid suits. And Dash will just kind of chuckle and say, yeah, they're not very comfortable. They're not comfortable at all. This is like the 3rd time I've had to do it. And he's like trying to adjust and things that. And he goes, okay, all right. Uncomfortableness aside, he goes, what the crap is the plan? You said that you had a plan once I got you in here. I got us in. What are we doing? Dash will kind of go, Well, he says, I say we just go the direct route. He goes, we go. He's like, explain. He says that there is a change in the shift. He goes, get the other troopers off there. He says, and then we just kind of basically smuggle things to the docking area. He says, once we do that, he says, load it on one of the nearby vessels. He says, then head on out. He goes, he says, I have a super bad feeling about. And then he just kind of looks around. He goes, oh no, this is not good. And Dash goes, what's not good? He goes, I sense a rather bad disturbance in the force. He goes, oh god, are you kidding me? He's like, Duke, you are going to be the death of me. What is it? He goes, I don't know. He says, I kind of got like a real quick bleb. He says, and then I had to kind of shut everything off. He's like, because I didn't want to be, spotted, but there's some kind of dark side person here. And something else, he says, that I'm not sure of. And Dash goes, oh, god, cripes. Fine. So we'll go with the plan as is. He goes, at worst case scenario, you're just going to pop your fancy light sword thing, he says, and then draw their attention. He says, so long as we keep our helmets on, they're not going to know who we are. Just don't get caught. And he looks at the others and he says, and if you guys get left behind, I am so sorry about your luck. He says, but we will not be coming back for you. And the others just kind of nod their head and say, hey, we know what we get into when we sign up for this. And they go, all right. And everybody starts putting their helmets on. They're like, got a plan. So, Kanza, you have now made it to the front door. And you're going to be seeing, I will move your token for you.
That's a very Dash Darklighter plan.
Oh, it is a very Dash Darklighter plan.
Oh,
It's actually relatively simplistic.
Yeah.
Sometimes he'd be a lot more convoluted. It just depends. So, yes.
oh, no kiss for him.
Whip. So, Kanza,
Keep it
you're
simple,
there.
stupid.
You're going to be seeing that there are going to be 2 troopers, and will represent some tokens. 2 troopers. They're going to be positioned outside of the ship there. The Ramp is down, and these troopers are kind of, just they've got their weapons up, like they're waiting for something. They have a slightly laxed look about them, but they are at attention enough. They are currently not looking at a droid for anything, but they are just kind of look like they're talking to each other, going back and forth. What would Kanza like to do?
Currently deciding whether to stay at this main entrance or make my way towards them. Hmm. I'll essentially keep my back to the wall where I am, so just essentially keep the back here.
Okay.
Just looking around, making sure that, if I see people or see any of the crew running and they need help, then I can try
So
and help.
give me a knowledge law enforcement.
Boop, ba-doop.
Ba-doop, ba-doop, ba-doop.
3.
Okay, yes, this is a great plan. This is the best thing ever. It can no way go wrong. You just kind of stand there. A few moments will go by, and you're going to notice that these troopers, as they are talking, will kind of start looking in your direction now. And then one of them will kind of motion towards you, as the other one will walk over to you and say, "What are you doing here, droid?"
So, can I interject?
Sure, you are actually near the ramp, so you can hear like some conversation going on and everything else. You kind of poke out and see all this going down.
And so I'm seeing her standing there. And seeing them start to walk over. I start quickly walking over, going, "There you are! I've been looking all over for you. Are you malfunctioning again?"
So Crom comes out and Wookie and things that the trooper that's standing there is kind of like, "Oh shit!" It's like you walk by and looks up at you. Then he's just kind of like gets this kind of like his body language is like, what should I do? He's not attacking me. He is part of the ship." So then he just kind of lets you walk by. The other trooper looks back and just kind of takes a step to the side, like, as they pause because this Wookiee just comes out like, huh. So
Uh,
yeah, Kanza, there's all this stuff going on and things that you're just kind of standing there like, yeah, huh, what?
I'm just looking at her, going, and just kind of gesturing her towards the ship. Like I'm assuming these troopers can't understand what I'm saying.
You don't know.
No, this is just what I'm assuming.
Yeah. Assuming, yeah, they don't. But
And I'm just
there is
kind
the
of assuming.
possibility one of them do know.
Yeah, and I'm just kind of assuming. I'm just kind of waving and just speaking to her like she's a droid. Like, go back to the ship. Go back to the ship. I'll fix you in a minute. Go to the ship. Don't just stand here. Go, 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 go.
So yes, Khan's is going to completely ignore the questions that the stormtrooper had asked and just
Sure.
walk past him.
And I'm just gonna start flying behind her. I'm just looking at them, just kind of. I don't know if they can understand me. I'm just kind of giving an apologetic look and just saying, "She's. We're still fixing her."
Uh, give me a con.
Con. Okay.
It's a perception con.
Perception con.
Yep,
Okay.
What would
Perception.
Wookiee nerd speak sound like anyway?
It would sound like normal nerd speak.
pretty much. Except in Wookiee.
Yeah. I don't
For the
have.
record, I don't understand Wookiee. I just saw him waving his arms, just like, come on,
Yeah, pretty
get
much.
over here.
Yeah, that's basically what it boils down to. Kanza has no idea. You can always make a check if you want to know, want to attempt. That would be knowledge languages. But yeah, he was motioning around, so you technically don't have to know anything.
It's not a one, but it's not good either because I don't have. I just have perception. Were you talking about command?
No, no, no.
Because
On.
I don't have
Con.
con. No,
Yeah,
I
no,
don't
you're
have
fine.
con. I just have perception.
Yeah, you're good. Okay. So what's your total? And before you tell me, if you have any character points, you can spend up to 2.
You know what? I've got 18 character points. I'll add 2 points to it because I really don't want to fail this right now.
I do not blame you.
Me neither.
Considering where we are, it's like I didn't want to spend my points, but I had to.
I
So,
personally really don't want you to fail this because I'm really far in this freaking base.
Yep. And you guys thought it was
s-
bad with the Vanguard.
mm,
It could be really bad. Oh no, I do not like the look on Gillius's face.
mm,
What do you got?
so, 15.
15? Okay.
All right.
So as you're walking back, one of the troopers, we're gonna say it's the guy that walked up to the droid. He's going to actually kind of shout in Wookiee the best that a human can do as a halt.
And I stop and I just turn and look at him.
Um,
And I
he
just
will,
look at him and
yeah,
say, with the politest smile, you need to roll your R just a little bit more.
he will look at you, nod his head, and she'll say, it's hard enough for non-Wookiees to
I know.
speak your language. He says, but
I know.
th- this is your droid. What was your droid doing in our base?
She was ordered to follow the crew, and apparently she got lost again.
He kind of looks at the droid.
I refer to my droids as she, yes.
He will kind of look at the droid for a little bit, then he'll look back at you, and he'll say, "Take her to the ship. Make sure this doesn't happen again."
I will.
And he will nod
I
his
will.
head.
And I will turn and just start walking back.
So how many of y'all's buttholes need to be unpuckered now?
Uh, I
Did I
thought he
do my
had it.
job?
I thought he had it, but keep in mind it's not strange because think about how many times people call their ships
Yeah. Oh, I know.
she and her.
I
Yeah.
know. I know. All right. So,
So Kanza's gonna make her way to the private quarters and get out of the suit.
okay. Yep. You strip off the fake uh uh um droid armor and things like that, and are you gonna put your stuff back on? I take it, like your armor and actual like fighting gear, or
Oh yeah.
okay. So yeah, you're basically gonna be in there doing all that stuff. Yeah. Uh, Jada is going to kind of notice that you guys are there, or that you were there, and then she will. What, what do you? Where are the others? If you can hear a young child screaming, my apologies. I have told him many times to keep it down. Okay,
I
Can't hear
cannot
any
hear
of them.
him, no.
good. All right. So, but Kanza, yeah, Jada is going to eventually have stumbled upon you, like right as you finish changing, and she's going to ask you, like, what? Why are you here? Where are the others?
I don't know where they're at. And
But
she's just gonna be adjusting her gloves. I just got a message saying that there might be trouble.
when you say that, Jada goes, "Oh no, this one had a bad feeling. Jada just knew it. Jada just knew it. Oh," and she starts like fanning the hands and starts pacing back and forth. She goes, "Oh, oh, Crom, Crom, Crom."
I slap her on the shoulders. Jada, Jada, deep breaths. Breathe. We don't need you panicking.
Oh, this one does not do well with
Jada,
with
Jada, Jada, Jada.
oh
Breathe in slowly.
oh.
Breathe out slowly. We've got this. Calm down.
Yes, yes. It's no alarms. No, this one has not heard any alarms. It is okay. This.
There were no alarms inside. I was just told get out of there just in case.
Oh, okay. Okay, okay, okay. Oh. And then she'll look back at you, Crom, and she will say that uh uh, uh get back to the door and wait just in case things do go south. Because the troopers are gonna have to be handled quickly. If they
Yes.
follow protocol, they were told to stay with the ship. They will not leave their post, and you're going to have to forcibly remove them. And then Jada will look at you, Kanza, and she will say, if you would like to accompany Crom to assist him in case that were to happen, this one thinks it would be a good idea.
You're right. It probably would be a good idea.
So, yep. You guys go
I
and
should
do
be able
that.
to just hang out with Crom.
All right.
I just
That
look at
one
her.
was about to be probed.
Hello. All right.
Not gonna think about how close that was, but
Right. Right.
I'm sorry.
where,
You want me
where,
to cut that a little closer next
yeah,
time?
where's the port for the? Oh, found it.
jumps up on toes like, was not
Yellow.
expecting
Yeah.
this.
Yep. Why would that droid do it to me? Anyway, so as Zoe, you were going to walk out. Adamox is going to look at you confused, and then he will say, "What? Where? Why are you? What are you doing here?"
Got ordered to leave.
They order. Why?
One guy caught on to me
Oh,
slightly.
well, that
Luckily,
sucks.
I managed to save by mentioning. Do I know who that was?
Not a clue.
There's not even a roll I could make to have any idea. Is there?
The random dude,
The old dude.
the
That
old
was
dude.
clearly important.
Oh, knowledge, law enforcement, and good luck.
Good luck.
Yep.
Yeah, that's probably a no. That's a 7. That's a 7.
Yeah, no, he is some old dude that is very well dressed. You know it's not Lord Vader. You know it's not the Emperor. You know
Well,
that
Vader's
he
not
is.
that old,
Well, you don't
but
know. He's always in a helmet. Anytime he's ever been shown. Um.
enough.
So yeah, like I said, you just know that you kind of
Some
have a feeling
important,
that he is somebody of that importance, but you're not 100% sure because you
some
have no
vet,
base. You just know, like, says that there are different troopers. You've seen a lot of stuff, but you've never seen anybody like him.
but he did give off scary vibe. Yes,
He gave
some
off.
very.
Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I'm. I don't know how force sensitivity would work in the game as a mechanic. So, but either way, he, someone like that usually would give off something like that, right? Like
Usually,
some.
yes. Um. Oh, you are force sensitive, aren't you?
Uh huh.
Hmm. Then yeah, you would have kind of gotten a little bit of a when you cross his path, you would have gotten a kind of like chill that ran down your spine, and like there just would have been this aura of death and darkness around him. Yeah, I forgot you're
So,
force sensitive.
Zoe, would Zoe know that that would be a disturbance in the force?
Um, no, it's not technically a disturbance in the force. It's essentially just how, if you can think of it in D&D terms, it's his alignment. So you know that
Okay.
he is a bad guy. Like he has done some bad things. Like the stormtroopers,
Okay.
they kind of sometimes they'll have auras like that, or they'll have some things. Sometimes they won't. But this dude kind of has, like, he's probably one of the worst you've ever seen in the Empire, face to face, because you've never met Vader and you've never met Palpatine. But
Okay.
yeah, you like I said, so there's kind of like this. He gives you very bad vibes.
So I'm going to give a brief description of Zoe since she's not wearing her helmet.
Right.
So, like, so Adamux, look me in the eyes. Zoe is currently wearing a decent level of makeup to where she's pretty much doesn't look anything like she's supposed to.
Right.
And but Zoe's eyes are multicolored.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a heterochromia. So
Mm-hmm.
one's green, one's blue.
Mm-hmm.
It's like there is someone very, very bad on this ship that we need to have nothing to do with.
Moon base.
No,
Adamox
you don't.
says.
No, you
It's
don't
it it's
understand.
it's not a ship, it's a moon base.
I'm sorry. I can we say that I said base instead? I'm
Sure.
sorry. That was the player. So it's like someone very very bad on this base that
Um,
we want nothing to do with.
he kinda
He
looks
is
around
terrifying.
and is like, they're all carrying weapons and they're all trained to kill. I think we're around a lot of bad things.
You don't understand.
Uh-huh.
This guy is terrifying.
Oh, I'll have to trust your judgment on that. Is all he's gonna say. He says, I this whole situation is terrifying. You think I wanna be here?
Adamox, you saw him too. Tell me you felt
What? Captain
the
Shine?
old dude
Yeah,
with
Captain
the
Shine.
ah oh right right you you
Yeah.
didn't
That's all he does. Kinda motions
so
a hand like his bald head.
so you didn't sense any need to be afraid of him at
He
all.
looked kind of imposing to me, but no.
All
I
right
just
then.
kind of figured he's some kind of a moth or um a governor. He says, I don't know. He said, but he just
Well, trust me on this. He's something bad and something important, and we really need to hurry.
all right. So a few more moments will kind of go by, and what I'm going to say is that we'll do another screen swipe to Dash as it will kind of show um a couple of people out of the stormtrooper armor now into basically working attire. They're going to be troopers and workers just kind of laid off to the side. Um the there will be, I think we'll end up having all three of them. So Duke and Dash are going to be um still in their stormtrooper getup, as the other three are basically kind of had loaded carts of Tabana gas cylinders, and they begin to start, kind of moving the stuff out and all that kind of fun stuff. And DC will basically say, yeah, there was a land of the class shuttle. He says that we noticed in Hangar Bay 2. So you're probably gonna want to take the lift, head up to the secondary hangar bay, load what you can, and then Dash nods his head and he's like, "Yeah." And DC will look at me and say, "What's wrong?" He goes, "I'm starting to get a bad feeling." And then DC's just like, "Oh, you got to be kidding me! Now you too?" He says, "Yeah, yep." He said, "Oh, I didn't tell you. T- tell me what?" He goes, "You know that one dude you kept talking about, Richard?" Yeah. He's like, we hitched a ride on a ship." And DC's just going to laugh. And he goes, "No kidding." He said, "Yeah, never met him. He's never met me." He says, "It was some of the funniest things." He goes, he says, they're doing their own thing here." He says, "What?" He says, "Oh yeah." He says, like, they knocked out the junior lieutenant. He says, and one of the chicks ended up posing as a junior lieutenant. DC's just gonna be like, "Oh my god, he's gonna get himself killed." And Dash is just gonna like, "You got room to talk." He's like, "Yeah, but I've got training for this crap. Well, whatever." And then Dash will just kind of chuckle and say, "Look," he says, "let's just get the stuff loaded on." He says, "We need to get back to the headquarters. Um, Hopefully he's like, Pivot's going to make cover for us like he said he would, and we can just get out of here, no problems." And then DC will say, "And if," and Dash is going to reach back and then pull the thermal detonator from the stormtroopers back at Tyre. He goes, "I wonder if my code still works." He goes, "Oh no, 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 no." He's, "I remember the last time you used one of those things, you almost got me killed." Yeah, yeah. Just don't be in the blast radius. And then DC just goes, "Oh, fine, fine." Okay, yeah, great. Let's get this over with. Alrighty then. At that, it's going to jump back to Yumi, who is going to look over at Richard and stand up and makes a motion towards the door like, I've got my information. And it only took a grand total of about maybe 5 minutes.
All right. I'm going to look at them, go, apologies if I was in the way, and head out.
All right. So as you guys head out, you're going to notice that Zoe and Adamox are standing watch at the door. Nothing has transpired yet. They basically, when you come out, Adamox will say, yeah, coast was clear the entire time. He's like, nobody came over this way.
So Zoe's going to inform Richard exactly what she just told Adamox in case he didn't hear her.
Mm.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Guy looked important. Avoid him.
Fair, fair enough.
All right.
That's
So,
literally all Richard's going to say.
okay. So you guys, Yumi's gonna say we need to get out of here. We got what we came for.
Let's go.
All right. So you guys are gonna be making your way towards the exit.
Yep.
At that, it is going to screen swipe, and there will be 2 black armored troopers being followed by the High Inquisitor as he begins making his walk to the DP-28.
Mother.
He will get to the ramp. The troopers will park to the side, and he will just casually walk up the ramp.
Well, that is-
So as he's starting to walk up the ramp, Crom, Kanza, you see this man as I've described him. He's got one of those things across his eyes. Doesn't look like he can see past it. It's just like a little bit of a thing, kind of a balding head. As he's walking up, you can see his cape's now kind of billowing back. That he seems like he has some kind of lightly padded armor and things. That he's got a belt with a little cylindrical object that's kind of backing, going like waving back and forth.
I'm eyeing this thing and just gonna calmly look at him and say, "Can I help you, sir?"
He will stop just short of you two, and he will say, I've come to check on the progress you've made with your engines. Have you been able to get them fixed?
They should be fixed very shortly.
Hmm.
We have our engineer is one of the best.
May I inspect them? And he gives this kind of weird grin.
And I hold up one finger. That would be up to the captain, sir, not me.
Well,
I may be
seeing
the second in command, but it's her decision.
he will
Kanza's gonna look at Crom and say, "Do you want me to go get her?"
Would you please?
he will kind of stand more straight, put his hands kind of together in front of him, and he'll say, I'll play at your formalities. Please get your captain.
Thank you, protocol.
As a Wookiee, would I get a sense of danger off him?
You are you did you make Crown Force sensitive?
I did not. I was
Okay.
going more
I
off the
couldn't remember.
fact that I'm more going off the fact of his animalistic
Yeah,
side.
yeah. Um hmm. Yeah, you're kind of getting danger, Will Robinson. Like you are kind of not feeling good about this guy. This guy is throwing off all the bad vibes.
Like if I tried to pick a fight with him, I would lose.
Probably. You're not 100% sure. You are Wookiee. You are strong. But
I
this
am
guy is,
strong, but
yeah,
this guy is something I don't want to mess with.
very possibly.
So he's basically Wu Tang Clan.
Hmm.
Thank
Yes.
you for getting that, Scotty.
I listened to Wu Tang. I know. All right.
So yes, essentially Kanza goes into like towards the engine room to see if Jada is there.
She's there, all right.
He's gonna look at her and say, "There is big balding man asking how it's going."
She will have her back slightly turned to you, and then she will kind of look over, like, like big boldy. What?
I
This one will be there. And she starts walking like past you with a quick hurry, kind of, because she's still very hopped up with everything going on. And so she will end up hitting the door basically out from the engine room, and then she will notice Crom kind of staring at Jarek just standing there with this kind of unnaturally just uneasing grin on his face. Yeah, he's kind of calm, but like there's just something uneasy about him. He just kind of,
Ominous.
yeah, thank you. I couldn't
Cocky.
think of the word. This ominous look and things that as he's just kind of standing there. And he's leaning down, and you can see Crom that even though he's got this cloth around his eye, he has no eyes. It's just basically kind of like the little indent. It's almost just all flesh there. And
Oh, so he's like the guy we met before.
yep.
So he's a near human.
Mm-hmm.
Do I
Awesome.
remember what he told me what their race was?
Mm,
Kozik,
Because I
no,
remember him.
that's not a Kha'Zix. Kha'Zix is something I
Opticon.
made.
Because I
That
remember
one guy
talking.
did say.
Yeah, and I
Kozik.
can't remember off the
Yeah,
top of my
off
head.
the top of my head, I can't even remember. Give me just a second, cause
That
I
was like
can.
episode, oh God,
That was
3,
just
4.
after
5,
the.
6. That was after we got out, the Black
Yeah.
Sun.
Yeah, talk amongst yourself as I look this up.
But yeah, Tim, can you blame me for the play I tried to play?
No, you
Like,
didn't try to shoot anybody, so there's progress.
Ah!
ow.
I think you played it really well.
Yeah, you did it really well.
And it's like, please tell me I'm not the only force sensitive character on the team.
I'm
Uh,
not.
The equivalent I can give you is Wookiee.
Oh,
yeah, I'm not.
okay. Okay
You are.
then.
Yeah, Zoe is the only one, unless Adamox has something that we don't know about.
Muted.
I am not muted.
No, he's
Not yet.
talking about me.
Howdy.
Um,
Oh,
yeah, I think he is, but don't quote me on that. I'm not looking at his character sheet. Okay, I'm going to probably butcher this, but it is a Maro Uka.
Just kind of look at him.
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
Just so you guys can know how it's spelled, so you can come up with your own thing if you'd wish to write it down. It is Miraluka.
Hmm.
Miraluka.
Maraluka. There you go. So yeah, that's the
just
Mira
movie.
as
kind of
in Mirakuru.
Yeah. Ooh, Maracuda.
Anywho, Chrome.
and just kind of looking at him, and I just remembering, and I just kind of talking out loud. Oh, I've met one of your kind before.
Um, he will actually move his head in your direction. He'll say, "Oh, you've never truly met one of my kind."
No, I mean I truly have.
Mm.
I met one. I think it was a few months ago.
He will open his mouth to say something when Jada ends up walking out, and he will look over immediately in her direction, and Jada will kind of sort of freeze for a second as she will clear her throat, and she will say, yes, this one is acting captain. And Jarek will say, acting captain. And she'll kind of go through the explanation and things, and he'll say, oh, okay. He says, so how are the engines coming along? And she will kind of, start buying time, saying like, progression's made well. Should be another about 10-15 minutes going on, and things that he'll ask, like, did you need any assistance? I am to understand that you had turned it down before. And then she's kind of like, no offense. She says, but I have this well under control. And they're kind of going back and forth with all this stuff. Um, so if you would be so kind, Crom, to give me a perception insight.
Perception, insight.
Yep.
Lunchtime cheeks.
Clench
Come
'em.
on, dash.
Are you wearing the orange pants?
I'm not wearing pants.
That's right.
He's a Wookiee. He doesn't wear pants.
10.
10?
10.
Okay. You think he's here, but the way he's acting, it's like he's stalling for something.
I'm just gonna kind of throw Jada a look like we need him gone.
Right. She will kind of look at you almost in a panic state. And she will kind of shake her head a little bit. Like, no, like you don't get rid of this guy. Like she knows him. And Jarek will say, well, if progressions are being well, might I look around your ship as you are on Imperial property? He says, I'm just curious. He says, maybe look at the engines myself. Jada will kind of start sweating bullets at this point, and she will say, if the High Inquisitor requests it, and he will say, so you know who I am. And Jada will say, this one used to work for the Empire. Jada had actually worked in an area where you were stationed. And he will say, Jada. Yes, a wonderful mechanic, as I recall. Yes, we trusted you with many things. I believe you had terminated your service with the Empire. Such a shame, he says. Is there anyone else on board? She will say, Crom, our Wookiee friend, myself, Kanza, a TLZ, a race newer to me, and a young near human boy that goes by Zagar. Near human. Is he potentially here right now? So now we will cut back to everyone else as you guys are making your way towards the exit.
So first off, Scotty, thank you for indirectly answering a mental question I had.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you know what the question was.
That's what the game master is supposed to do. I'm supposed to kind of set everything up, tell the story, and then if there's any blanks, I fill them in for you. All right.
So I was going to say something before we move. Guys, wait a minute. How are we getting back on the ship unseen?
We're probably not.
Yeah.
I will
thought about it.
say, instead of okay, we'll be a little interesting about this. Instead of me flipping a coin, we are going to leave this in your guys' capable hands. Okay, so we're gonna say, you guys are here. We'll remove these troopers. They're no longer there. Okay, you guys, this is where you've made it. Okay. I will take. I would like to ask everyone present to roll me a d6.
A single D6?
A single d6.
You're not going to tell me if I need high or low, are you?
Nope.
6.
4.
1.
Okay. Kanza.
Oh, I thought you meant in that area. 2.
2. Okay. So, you guys are going to be right here. So when I say you guys, obviously it's going to be Richard, Zoe, and Animox and Yumi. So as you guys are going, there are going to be alarms just beginning to blare. Brr, 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 and then followed by someone over the comm. Intruder alert in section 5A. True alert, section 5A. Repeat, we have intruders in 5. Ah, psh. There's like
Are
a
we in
blaster fire.
what section are we in?
Not in 5A because there was blaster fire that took this dude out.
Fair enough. Like, so, I think we need to expedite this.
Now, think. Think, Zoe. Think.
I get that. Well, here's the thing. I am saying that. Look, we can't exactly run away. That would, well, actually, wait. You, me, and Animox probably could. We're just janitors, but
Now, think for a moment. If there's an intruder, odds are
they're
the
on high
forces are
alert.
going to go that way.
Exactly. I'm saying we should just
As
move.
I'm walking this way.
All right.
That wasn't Zoe saying, "Hey, let's go that way." That's Zoe saying, "Hey, let's just pick
As
this
I
up."
stand here out of the way for a moment,
Okay.
expecting people to be running by.
Okay. Adamox will also follow. And then Yumi will be right with you. Okay. So it'll cut back as this is going on. It'll cut back to Crom and Jada as well, briefly, you're gonna see these stormtroopers. The ones in the black armor are going to actually make a bolt towards there. Back into the facility. And then it will cut back to Jarek, who is going to have a comm link on him. And he will move a hand as it beeps, and you will notice a lightsaber dangling from his side as the comm says, "Sir, we have intruders, and one of them is wielding a lightsaber." And he'll pull the comm out and he'll say, "I will be there." And then he puts the comm back on and he looks at Jada and then to you, Crom, and he says, "Be careful." He says, "This could be dangerous. Jedis are extremely elusive." He says, "Hopefully you'll have your ship fixed." And he will nod his head and then he will turn and then he will just book it. And when I say book it, I mean force run. Poof!
So I gotta ask for canon wise, which Star Wars cut do you use?
Which what?
It's like, are you when you say Star Wars cut, you mean Clone Wars or the original three, yada yada.
Whatever I want to use. I have read most of the books. I've watched pretty much all the shows and the movies, and I fill in the blanks when I run these
Kind
games.
of, yeah. I was just asking purely for my mental imagery for how you cut.
Oh, for how
Use your
the
own
cutscenes.
imagination.
Yeah, you can use your own
Yeah,
imagination. I just say cut. However you think that is.
fair enough.
So
Yeah. Crom's just gonna look at Jada and actually let out a breath he didn't know he was holding.
yeah, right. Jada will also do the same thing. She will slouch down, and then she starts getting that shakiness, and she's like, "This is very bad." She says, "We need to get the others, and we need to get out of here." She says, "It's the High Inquisitor is all she's going to do." At that time, Zagar is going to walk out and go, like eating a bowl of food. What's wrong, guys?
Sagar,
Hmm.
it's not the time to eat. It's
Nope.
the time to work.
Okay. As he kind of finishes up the stuff. Um. Now, as you guys are standing there, you're gonna see the two black armored stormtroopers running by, and then there's just this blur of black and red that just go past you and them.
Would I be able to get like a glimpse of who it was?
If you
Okay.
roll me a perception spot, maybe,
Okay.
and you can do it as well. So
13.
okay,
3d6 plus
15.
2.
what was your number, Tim?
15.
15. Yes, those are both good enough numbers. As he's running by, because of everything going on, your fight or flight reflexes have kicked in, so you're kind of high on alert. And as he goes by, there's a very very small passing resemblance of the dude from the elevator. You cannot get a 100% clear thing, but you can just tell by basically the blur that it was Captain Shine.
So
Enough.
I'm gonna wait there for another few moments, see if anybody else goes running by.
Nope.
So when he
Alright,
Jacob.
goes,
and I'm gonna go.
does she still feel fear?
And I'm gonna be like, alright, let's go back to the ship.
All right. Um, Yumi will look slightly concerned as she says, where where's Zagar? And then she will immediately hit up the comms, and then she will kind of push through you guys, and she will say, young Master Zagar, she's, where are you? And you guys are gonna hear on the ship his comm as he looks down, he's like, I'm on the ship. And she says, walking, as these two stormtroopers are kind of like near the ramp, looking at each other and looking at her, and she's like, oh, thank the goddess. I thought you'd done something stupid. There's a force user here, and I was worried for you.
So
And
how much?
go ahead.
Oh no, finish.
Okay. And Zagar will say, oh, it's not the time to eat, it's the time to fight. And she'll go, what? Oh, nothing. And she will say, we have what we needed. Get the ship ready to go now. As she's continuing to walk, and by this time the doors will says, well, she already spotted the stormtroopers. So she's basically kind of going on the last bit of the ramp as the stormtroopers are looking at her confused, still in Imperial garb. Are you guys following her or staying behind?
Following her, but how much of that did we hear,
Probably
if at
most of
all?
it.
Yeah.
So Zoe would have heard that, put two and two together. Force user. That was an inquisitor. Basically,
No, you would not
I
put
can't
that
put that
together.
together.
Nope.
Okay, what would I put
So
together with that at all?
It is a force user that is working
Very
for the
scary
Empire.
very scary force user.
Yep.
so
Like,
Richard would walk up, see the stormtrooper there, and then take a step back
Yep.
to wait to see how she's going to deal with it.
the
Yeah.
same.
There's actually two of them there. She will walk up and they'll say, excuse me, what was it, junior lieutenant, is there a prop? And before they can even finish the sentence, she just punches the one dude and then kicks the other guy, and they go flying. Ah! Wilhelm scream, and then she just walks right up the ramp.
Um,
As
are
I hear
they
that, I'm gonna follow her up the ramp.
the same? I'm assuming they're indisposed.
Yeah, no, they fell off off the ramp there. So yep.
Okay, time to go.
So, seeing them come up the ramp, I'm just immediately gonna go for the cockpit
All
and
right.
just start getting the engines going.
Buy this turkey.
I will follow Crom to the cockpit.
All right. So we got Crom and Richard in the cockpit. And then we are going to have who's going on guns? Adamok's going on guns. Zoe, are you going on guns, you said?
Yeah,
All right. So
I would assume we're not turning them on at yet.
not yet, but might have to. Okay. So if you would like to, Crom, go ahead and give me a what is it? The mechanical space transport to assist, if you want to, assist Richard in taking off in the DP-28.
Of course.
So I'm gonna get on the comm
Mhm.
and be like, "Hey Jada, can you let them know that the engines are fixed?"
She says, yeah, this one can do that.
Get
And
permission to take off.
yep, she is going to still on the comm tell Kit turn it on, and then you're actually going to hear the engines powering on as she will head over to her station, flip a couple of switches and things that there'll be an officer that will pick up kind of in a panic, and he'll say, DP-28, is everything okay out there? And she will say, "This is acting Captain Jada. Uh, our engines have been repaired, and we are seeking permission to take off." This dude in a panic is like, yes, you have permission. Fly well." So you don't hear any blaster, or there's no blast fire and things that, and you could probably even cut back and forth and showing the two of them. Where it's the dude that's basically
Nice.
behind the desk where you guys went. He's kind of looking around, and he's safe, but he's hearing all the stuff going on and things that, and he's just in panic mode. So Jada will get back on the comm and let you know that you guys are going to take off.
All right. So
All right.
I'll go to take off.
Alrighty then. So Crom, what was your number?
Well, I got a 6 on a wild die, so
Nice.
1 moment. 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 18.
All right. So Richard, you can go ahead and give me a space transport check to make sure that you
20.
can 20. Okay, fantastic. So you guys are gonna be taking off and doing well. Now, having said all that, we will cut back to da-da-da-da-da-da, Jarek, as he is going to be um running and comes to a stop on the second floor of, well, let's go a little bit more. He basically is going to be running in the corridor. He makes a force jump while force running and gets up on the second platform to get to the second bay, docking bay. And when he does, there are going to be people loading up a bunch of Tabana gas. There's going to be Dash shooting behind cover with the blast rifle, just picking off stormtroopers, as DC is going to be doing the same. But the biggest difference is that he's doing it one-handed, and he has a lightsaber active, and he's just kind of bouncing bolts back to kind of hit people. Uh, Jarek will, kind of come to a stop and then force pull his lightsaber to him, activate it, spin it around, and then DC goes, "Oh, well, crap. I didn't expect this one." And Dash goes, "Plan B?" And DC goes, "Plan B," as Dash reaches back, hits a few buttons, and just chucks this thermal detonator in the direction of Jarek. Jarek will see it, and then he will basically kind of take it with the force and then throw it kind of up and back. Um, and it will basically kind of go off, and it will take out a huge chunk of the facility.
Isn't that more accurately Plan D or detonate?
No, it's plan B. It's plan B for bitches don't know. Anyways, so as it goes off and things that, he tries to keep good footing, but it is a big enough explosion that it kind of throws him off balance unexpectedly, as the other two are basically running to the Lambda class shuttle going like, "Go, go, 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 go." And they begin to take off, and he starts to kind of get, back to it. You guys are going to be taking off. You guys are going to be kind of shaking as Jada makes the comment that something exploded. Um, and then it'll kind of cut back to Jarek, who's going to be getting information on a comm saying, "Sir, the DP-28 is engines are fixed and they are leaving. And he kind of stands with his lightsaber still active, and he says, "Hmm, what a surprise! Send out the fighters, bring down that Lambda class shuttle, tail the DP-28, and that's what we're gonna call it for the night."
Well,
Okay.
So, did you guys have
right.
fun?
Yeah. So that question that you answered was basically, does Zagar know how to conceal himself within the Force? And the answer is apparently no.
Maybe, maybe not.
Or at the very least, he didn't know to do it.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. No, yeah,
It's
like
like,
you said, that was kind of one of those things. It's when I was telling Tim, I asked him, I was like, what kind of, when we're working today, I says, what kind of, oh, I'm running through all kinds of stuff. And I was like, yeah, I says, you probably haven't gotten through a lot of what I've
I
gone
wasn't
through.
thinking High Inquisitor or
Yeah.
Dash Dark later.
Yeah. Yeah.
like,
So,
yeah,
I
why?
was going
Why?
through things within our control to screw up.
I don't know if I
Anything
did well.
beyond that is dealt with on the fly.
I
pretty
did
much,
not know if I
Yeah.
did well enough to make Zoe sound afraid. Very, very afraid.
it is what it is. All
But
I can say though is that it may not be as bad as you guys think, at least for you guys. And then on top of that, how would I put this? Um, it, that no, I don't want to give too much away. I just really think, like I said, it might not be near as bad for you guys as you think. You're gonna have to kind of wait and see. But yeah, no, it's oh, that's what it was. So when if for those of you watching, we have a YouTube and we're essentially putting all the VODs over there. So if you want to search Dice Dorks on YouTube and things that bring it up. So we've got all the games we've played. So at the very beginning, when you guys had kind of screwed up the whole thing with Vanguard, that changed a bunch of stuff. Kind of, well, I can't say a bunch of stuff. It changed a few things,
there was a ripple in the pond.
more or less. So even though it hasn't really messed too much with the Imperial stuff and things, that there was enough to bring a High Inquisitor into the mix. So, and it wasn't necessarily just Vanguard, but there are other things, possibly a specific item that some Wookiee may have. Also,
Yeah, it's like part of me is
also,
wondering, like,
taking the Force user kid and the weird droid thing. Yeah, there are been a lot of decisions you guys have made that have kind of elevated stuff a little bit faster.
you know.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
figured the droid eye might make a small ripple.
Possibly. So
So, are you trying to make your players, if not their characters, piss themselves?
I am merely presenting what is happening in the galaxy. If that is something that occurs, that is for you guys to decide. Or if you
He
do,
says
I'm
while
sorry.
smiling.
This is something I like to call suspense.
Yes.
He says while smiling.
Yes, you can ask Kanza and Richard there. I think I try to do a pretty decent job at leaving things suspenseful. I think they've played with me long enough to know that I believe that I do a pretty decent job at trying to keep things questionable.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But
He is very good at ending an episode or a session at a point where you are really looking forward to what happens next time.
Yeah. I
And
try.
really, really thinking about, oh God, what am I gonna do
Yeah.
now?
I
also,
try. It's not 100% every time.
also, thanks for watching Mean Deef. Glad you liked it.
Yeah. So yeah, like I said, if you liked it, go ahead. We're trying to make the a follower account. We're trying to make the 50 and all that kind of fun stuff. We're going to be putting into it. So yeah, like I said, if you want to pass things along, let people know, that'd be much appreciated. And like once again, we have the YouTube with the VODs if you want to catch up on all the craziness. We also have which should be in the is it description in Twitch? I can never remember where I have the Discord should be linked.
Yeah.
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 So there should be there if you want to join that and can kind of talk to the cast and crew and all that kind of fun stuff outside. So hey, cool. We got a YouTube subscription. So but yeah, like I said, just go ahead,
Damn it.
pass it out, get people going. Like I said,
Damn it.
because I want to try to. D6 is one of those games or the system, one of the systems that is kind of underly, it's overlooked too much. So, uh, I kind of wanted to introduce these players to a new system. I think you guys have only pretty much played fifth edition and maybe dabbled in a couple other D&Ds, right?
Um,
Me,
Essentially just 5th edition.
Yeah,
me
Yep.
specifically, I played a lot of different RPGs,
yeah,
or at least read a lot of rule books.
right. Um, yeah. So like I said, it's really interesting to kind of see how a lot of these systems change up and stuff like Force and Destiny. Um, as fun as Fantasy Flight system is, I personally was debating on whether to run Fantasy Flight or to run the D6. As a personal thing, I don't like the talent trees that they do, and I understand the system pretty well. But if you keep watching this and things, that the beauty of the D6 system is that you can modify and change and create your character in such a way that they are customized almost right from the start. We haven't gotten to combat yet, but once you kind of see, go watch the VODs and things, that you'll see some of the combat and how that works, and it's really good. You can feel really good, strong, powerful right from the go. So, um, yeah. Has anybody got any comments or questions or anything about what's going on?
it's not often you can get a Wookiee to almost shat themselves.
Yeah, yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, I like the idea of seeing Zoe being terrified and Animox not picking up on, wait,
Yeah,
this is Zoe. Why is she scared?
yeah,
No being condescending to Adamox.
right.
I wasn't fine with
Contemplating
it.
whether I would have wanted to stay and get probed or try to fight a nanny bot again.
Hello.
But yeah, it's like not
They
often that I
came
get to,
across very condescending.
Yeah.
it's not often that I get to play the absolute fear card, and it's like,
Well, you
let's
don't need to
try it.
plug your ears for spoilers there. Mean Def. It's this is just kind of the after talk kind of thing. Like you can, even if you kind of get the quote unquote spoilers, you can see it unfold differently. Watching the VODs and everything else, but no, yeah, like I said, going back to the game and stuff like that, kind of watching you guys crap your pants is always the fun thing as the GM.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I'll I'll be
in other words,
completely
he's saying
honest.
this is the way.
yeah, this is the way.
I'll
And
be completely honest. I thought I was gonna have to throw down with the Inquisitor.
it
That would
could
not have
it
gone well,
it
Crom.
it could
No, it
have
wouldn't.
it could
But I
have.
was gonna take him with me.
Would you?
So you think? I
This
mean,
this
Imagine
is
you,
the
Crom would have grabbed him and
this
jumped.
is the High
y-
Inquisitor.
yeah, you
I
you
would
can always
I
try.
I'm terrified by his weakest force powers alone. I don't want to see that sheet. Well, maybe if by some miracle he
Hi,
dies.
sorry, I was more unconscious than a bugbear trying to make, or sorry, not a bugbear, a goblin making death saves.
Yeah, well, you're good. We're actually just wrapping the game up.
All right,
Yeah,
sorry.
no, you're fine. So,
All
but
right.
Ooh,
yeah,
that sounds fun.
yeah, I know, right? So,
So
yeah,
Consulin is now being played by two people, and so is Crom and
right.
so Bruss.
So, right. All right. The
Yeah, sorry about that.
nah, you're fine. No worries.
Oh no, no, you're good.
So yeah, like I said, I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. Like I says, we try to stream every Saturday. And then once we get the stream done, we try to make sure it's on the YouTube and all the other kind of fun stuff. Um, so I got a chat here. Comment says our group got attacked by some kind of Wookiee Jedi hunter at the end of our last game for us. See, that's actually kind of fun when you can have kind of some crazy stuff like that. Um, yeah, I've done many different things, and I'm not going to go into details because it may or may not be something that I might dust off. I've literally been playing this game for about 30 years off and on. Not to give my age up, but yeah, I've been playing this game for quite a while. Yeah, and one thing I've learned is definitely to make sure, like, is that you have
Okay.
a little
I
bit
get
of tidbit of stuff and things that to kind of keep the
Awesome.
players hooked and interested. So yeah, and you can always if you want to join the Discord, you can kind of let us know how it went, or you can kind of chat about it next time, next Saturday. But we're gonna go ahead wrap things up, and we will see you guys next week. So anybody got any final words that they want to say?
Please come
Nope.
back. We're having fun.
Yeah.
We think you'll have fun if you come back.
Please do listen in. I was only missing because I was asleep, which is unfortunately more
See ya.
common lately than I would prefer.
Have a good
You're
night.
fine. Take
Have
it
a good
easy,
night.
guys.
Good night, everybody.
May the dork be with you always.